Hey everybody, this is Growdot333, Kelly. Hopefully you can see me. My camera is kind of cockeyed. Anyway, I am coming in for my 2-year Surgiversary. I believe it was last Friday, and since I went away to Maine, this is the first time I've been able to do another video. Hopefully this won't be too long, but I do have a lot to say, so you can click off if you'd like. I started my journey at 265, went into surgery at 255, and today I believe I weigh 242. Those of you that have been following, I did gain about 20 pounds on the steroids when I was really sick a couple months ago. Thank you and welcome to the new subscribers. So, I really want to get down to business because I've really been contemplating a lot about the things I've been learning. This is a journey, and I'm always learning new things about myself. And you all that have followed me over the years have seen the struggles that I've had and the complications and difficulties I've had with the band. And my health, I seem to be Murphy's Law, and the medical mystery to so many specialists and doctors. So, I believe I have now experienced what it is to have restriction. I am at 8.5 in a 10cc Allergan band. So I just received restriction truly for the first time about 3 weeks ago. And it has been very interesting living with restriction. So for the 2 years that I've had the band, I haven't had restriction. So really, the band hasn't been the tool working as the tool that I needed it to work. But I can say that now that it is working as the tool, one, I'm definitely losing weight. But two, I'm learning more about my behaviors and the mental game. And we talk about this all the time. And, you know, I'm going to preface, you all know this is my journey, my obstacles, my issues. Everybody's got different ones. I do not compare myself to others. This is how I'm walking through. I did about a year of working out like a mad woman and taking a lot of time away from my family and my kids. And I changed my body. Didn't change the scale, but my body definitely went down 4 sizes. I went up, right now I'm about up 1 size from where I was, getting back down because I am losing weight with restriction. But some things that I'm learning is I have spent so many years with the mental issues around food. I mean, if somebody asks you, well, why do you overeat, or why do you turn to food? I mean, I could give you 50,000 reasons why I turn to food. I am a food addict. I need to address those issues separately from the band. The band is a tool, and it's taught me I don't need the volumes of food that I was eating to survive, but the band helps me identify directly so many of the mental issues that I have with food, and physically and mentally. You know, it makes me face my mental issues physically, if that makes any sense. I have had to throw up a couple of times with the band. I'm still learning how to eat with restriction. The morning I am so tight, and then when I traveled, it was so much worse. So believe me, there'll never be a day that I don't eat. Trust me. And I've always been a protein eater. I mean, 100 grams or 120 grams of protein in a day is average for me. It's not something I need to work at, but granted, I was eating so much volume compared to what I am now. So today, for example, I usually have my eggs in the morning with some refried beans, and it takes me a long time to get it down. Now, I know with the band you're supposed to eat 20 minutes, whatever you don't finish, put away, but I mean, I'm getting 1 spoonful in 20 minutes. I need to take it slow, or I'll find myself throwing up. And So it takes me, you know, maybe an hour to eat the eggs, maybe longer because I'm working too while I'm doing it. And that's cool. That holds me over till lunchtime. I don't think I even ate lunch till 1:30. But when I went for lunch, I had a crunch salad, which is cabbage, raisins, sunflower seeds, carrots, celery. You know, it's a healthy salad. I only had like a half a cup. I really just, it wasn't doing it for me. I was craving proteins. Like I'm a protein eater. I needed my protein. So I ended up going to a deli and just getting, you know, a couple of pieces of grilled chicken just to get that in, and that helps me. I am all about the protein. So I'm thinking I need to adjust my eating, which is start off with a protein shake. I've never been a shake drinker. I only drank my shakes when I got my Filzer and stuff, when I had to. But I think it may work for me to do and explore some shakes in the morning, and then really my band isn't ready for solid food until lunchtime anyway. So this may work for me. But I have to mentally get there. I've always been like, oh, I'm drinking my meal. That doesn't cut it for me. I needed to chew. It's like I just need to chew. Whatever it is, I need to chew. And I'm noticing that I've always been this volume eater. I would look at something and say, well, that's not going to be enough for me. I'm going to be hungry. Thank goodness I don't have that hunger anymore. And I can be satisfied with so much less. And what I found was when I was in Maine and we were eating at these restaurants, and obviously I think I get anxiety when I go out now with restriction, because I can have difficulties at home. So when I get out, I'm like, oh, freaking out. Where's the bathroom? Am I going to have to go to the bathroom? These are all things that I have to work through, and I need to relax. And, you know, a hot liquid will soothe my band and open it up a little for me to get some food down, some chicken or fish. So I need to relax. I need to go slow. Back to basics. Back to basics. I have to learn all these new things, and it's kind of funny, not funny, but funny, that I'm doing this 2 years out. You know, these are things I should have been going through 6 months in, and here I am just having to start my journey 2 years post-op. You know, listening to myself, it makes me really sad. I've worked really hard physically, you know, lots of time taken away from my family to get into shape, and I have worked my ass off. May not look it, but I know the work that I've done and I've put in, and those that are close to me know, and Janine, who has worked out with me, knows. You know, I'm pretty hardcore, but I wish I could remember who did the video. I think it was Sally recently, who I constantly battle with comparing myself to the younger and more fit me. You know, I was an athlete my whole life. I have accomplished many accolades, many things, and I often get frustrated with myself that I go out and I'm feeling my age. For the first time, I'm really feeling my age and my weight. I'm going to be 41 next month, and my knees are bad from running on the pavement. You know, I spent about 1.5 years with the C to 5K, running almost every day. I did not take a day off. I was, you know, supposed to rest in between, but I'm like, you know, F that. If I can run every day, I'm running every day. I want to lose quicker, faster. And I never lost. But I kept going, as I will keep going on this journey. And another thing that I find that I'm changing mentally is I constantly play head games with myself to push myself further and to get through. And when I was running, it used to be just get to that stop sign, just go to that extra block, just get to the halfway point, and then when I'd get there, I'd say, look, you can do it, you only have a little more, you know, all those head games. Well, I needed to find a head game to play with the food, so I wouldn't eat, so I would make better choices, and I would stop eating the volumes that I was eating. And when I say volumes, I wasn't sitting down eating 2,000 calorie dinners, just so let me get that out there. My average day was anywhere between 12,000 and 1,500 calories. But clearly, for my body, it just doesn't want to let go. I still haven't figured out why. I'm trying lots of different combinations and different things. Janine has given me a fantastic book, which I'll talk about another time because I'm still in the midst of reading it. Once I'm done with it, I will start to talk about it. But I'm really into that, although I just haven't had a lot of time to read. Again, those of you that know my schedule is insane. So, and I digress, forgotten all about, the mental games. So, some of the mental games that I've been playing with myself as far as the food goes is I have to think back to what motivated me to get this surgery, to get the lap band, and that would have to be my kids, that I wanted to be around for my children, that no matter what age they are, they're still going to need me and guidance from me. And if I am going to elongate my life and be here and be around, I need the quality of life. I can't just be here. I need to be here and be active. I am not a good spectator or sedentary person. I need to be moving, and I don't have a slow-mo button. I am typical New Yorker. Bam, bam, bam. Let's go, let's go, let's go. You know, sometimes get out of the way. I'm plowing through, but you know, that's me. And you know, take it or leave it, that's me. And I kind of don't apologize for who I am because I'm happy with who I am. Am I perfect? No. Always a work in progress, yes. But this is me, and I gotta be true to myself and who I am. So when I go to eat, and there are many times I used to make conscious choices of, I know I'm not supposed to have that, but I'm going to eat that. And then I would play games with, oh, what I'm going to work out later. Oh, I worked out earlier. Oh, I'm only going to have this today. This will be my thing for the only thing that I eat bad for the week. And then the next day I end up doing it the same thing. So now I guess the difference is what I say to myself is when I make a choice to sit down and eat, I say, one, is this going to help me get to my goal? And two, is this going to help me stay around for my kids, or is this going to cut it short? That's been pretty powerful for me. That's been the one question that I ask myself that has enabled me to say no to the food and all the gratification that the food brings me. Is as good as that's going to taste, it's not worth shortening my life and the time that I have with my children. So that's what's been going through. And the other thing, as I've been asking myself that question, is food is not the only thing that's been shortening my life. There's another thing that I need to get a hold of that has really been affecting me, and I'm noticing it, and which is stress. I mean, no surprise, I'm not losing weight with the amount of cortisol that my body is probably expending. I mean, it is probably just gushing with cortisol. I have had cortisol tests because my cortisol has been so high. I'm under a lot of stress on a daily basis. I'm not going to go into all the stressors, but I need to find a way to deal with that stress and find a way to find some time and space for me to decompress. And you know, Sherry, Sweet and Sassy Mama, did a video about finding time for yourself and making time for yourself. And every time that I do that, I reap the rewards from it tremendously. And I'm very aware and conscious of how the stress has been affecting me. I did go to my first yoga class with Janine last week. I'll do a whole separate video on that because there's so much to say about it. I loved it, of course. It's very expensive. But I said to Janine, it's something that I need to do for myself, if nothing else, once a month. But it's also things that I can learn and institute into my daily life. You know, the breathing, the getting in touch with the breath, the bringing yourself back, not letting the outside things affect you. Now, all these concepts I've been aware of and known, and those of you that are my friend on Facebook, you see all the positive things that I post, and I post those for me. You know, the reminders that I need for my life on a daily basis. I am surrounded at work by extremely negative people. I mean, I've had people say to me, wipe that smile off your face. I can't handle you smiling. You know, you make me sick with how happy you are. I mean, these things are said to me regularly. You know, what's your what's your friggin' problem? Take that smile, wipe that smile off your face. I mean, these are the people that sit across from me, sit next to me. I mean, I'll lift up my head from my cubicle and there's scowls on people's faces. It's like misery loves company, and all they want to do is talk crap and talk negative shit all day long. And it used to get to me, and now I try and stay in my happy bubble. I call it my happy bubble. I put my headset on. You know, I'm on the phones with the texts. But I keep my headset in the other. Sometimes I'll listen to videos, sometimes I'll just listen to music, sometimes I will try and meditate if I can. But the stress, even when I reach goal and I can get my health in check as far as weight, because I still have all the other health issues, the thyroid, PCOS, diabetes, all of which are playing a role with me right now. Doctors are wanting to put me on more medications again. I have been fighting it. I'm not on it yet, but it's definitely a battle with my doctors. And at what point do I listen to them? And because they keep telling me at some point it's going to be too late for me, that because of my age I will reach a point where the medication won't help and I will have done irreparable damage. So I'm definitely in a gray area here where I got to go one way or another, and I keep hoping and praying that my body responds to the different things that I'm trying to do to lose the weight, and hoping that's going to be enough. So there's a lot going on, as there is with everybody. Life is busy for everybody. It's all about perspective and perception. And I talk all the time about how I can't change many of the situations that I'm in. I mean, sure, could I quit my job? Yes, I could, but it'd be very irresponsible of me, which, you know, my paycheck is not just a spending paycheck. My paycheck contributes to the bills, the house. Without my paycheck, and we're all under my medical, my entire family's under my medical benefits. Without my paycheck, we don't have the house. We don't live this lifestyle. Without my paycheck, we're not living on Long Island. But anyway, I know this is going to be a long video. I apologize. I just have a lot to say, and there's been a lot of things on my mind, being that this is my 2-year Surgiversary that just passed. Jamie did post someone else's video. I don't remember her name, but she talked about the Nick Walinda thing that was on this past Sunday, where he walked a tightrope across the Grand Canyon. And she talked about at what point we should reflect on, at what point did we stop dreaming, did we stop fighting for the things that we want, and settled for less, and let the weight come on and let the stress take over us. This is definitely something I'm going to give a lot of thought throughout the week, and I'm sure even longer than that. I mean, shit, I could go back and address many issues that my life has changed on a dime, and I think that's what's made me who I am today, is that my life has changed dramatically on a dime many of times. Many a times in an instant I have said, I'm not even the same person from an instant, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that, whether it be a death in the family, whether it be a traumatic occurrence. These are just things that we work through and create who we are and mold who we are. So I'm just encouraging you all to think of the same thing, to reflect back on your life and see if you can identify the moments and see if you can work through them and overcome them. And also, I watched Mama Rose's video today. I'm not sure if it was Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works. I think it was her Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works. And it was about, you know, pushing yourself, but also listening to your body and doing what you can do. She talked about how, she started walking and Wendy had challenged her, well, can you go 10 more minutes? And can you go? And she kept going and ended up doing 4 miles or 5 miles. But then there are times where your body needs sleep. And yeah, there are people out there that say push through, but again, you have to identify what you need and what's best for you. I am a firm believer that you shouldn't be comparing yourself to anyone out there. I struggle with comparing myself to my younger, more athletic self. I'm still very athletic, and I hate the fact that people look at me and judge me because many a times, and again, I'm a very competitive, aggressive, assertive woman. And I have no qualms walking up to any man on a court, on a field, and saying, let's throw down right here, let's go. You think you could whip me in a basketball one-on-one? Try it, let's see it. I know my capabilities. I definitely am out of shape as far as cardio, but, once an athlete, always an athlete. I'm bigger, but I can still get around, and I am not intimidated, and I will just push you down. Again, those of you that know me know I am who I am. Janine and I went to yoga, and then we went out to dinner, and it was late. I normally don't eat that. Like, we were starving. Neither one of us ate before yoga started. And so we get in the restaurant, and I couldn't eat. I got half a bite in, and I couldn't eat, wrapped it up, gave it to my husband. But I was like waiting, and again, time is always of the essence for me. As much as I enjoyed spending all the time that I did with Janine, it was 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I needed to get